Hey,
Three amigos.
Hey,
It's the day after.
cheers to the day after Election Day.
Here's to you.
you guys will be watching it 2 days after, but
Yeah, you'll be watching it 2 days after, but here's to here.
Sean, what the hell is happening to metals right now?
Dude.
It's been a
What did you do?
massive day. Just took a giant dump, right?
Yeah.
I know. I text Husky and I said $80 hit, and he just texted me back some question marks. I said,
like, what are you
I'm
talking about?"
sorry, negative $84.
Yes, gold went down almost $100 in a single day. Silver about $1.50. I mean, I think it might have even been higher than that, and maybe it retracted. I don't even know. I don't really pay attention to the metals market as much as I used to. I've transferred to mostly collectibles, but it still hurts. Almost $100 down in a single day on an investment metal, gold. It hurts everybody that's bought it. But hopefully you bought it long enough ago where it was still in the 1,500 to 2,000 range, where you're not getting too hit hard by $100 drop. I mean, it's just recent where it's kind of gone from like 2,300, 2,400, 2,500, 2,600,
Right.
27.
It was kissing 28. Yeah.
Well, I tell you what, you came to the right place because we have charts and graphs on this show. Welcome to the Crucible Podcast. I am Paulie.
Sean,
and go ahead.
Let me do
line, man.
Let me do my Trump fist.
And I'm Emil. Nice to see you guys. Yeah, we do charts, not farts. So yeah, good stuff. I'll bring up. Let's bring it up right now.
You're talking about it. Let's bring up. What do you got?
Might as well, right? Here we go. All right, so kind of hard to see, but it's smack there in the middle. This is the 5-year on gold. So like Sean was talking about very recently, probably right about here, it just started skyrocketing up to its peak, which was just shy of 2,800. But you can see it was fairly steady, kind of holding around 18 to 1,900 since about 2020.
It's at 2661.
Right now the closing was 2663. So yeah, 2661 right now. Yep.
Wow.
That's
it.
Wow.
And we were just talking about 2,800, 2,900, 3,000 by the end of the year.
Yeah, we were just saying that a couple weeks ago. Here you got these two lines right here. If you scroll down on Kitco, you'll see that has these two lines, which is basically they are yesterday and the day before versus the green line, which is today. So you can see the past 2 days, it's been pretty flatlined, not much movement.
That post-election news slump right there.
So Sean, did you expect that?
Well, yeah, most people were saying that if Kamala won, that the metals would continue to soar back upwards, or been on the current trajectory where it's been gaining a little bit every week, $100, $200 a week for the past 6 months. But recently, most dealers had already expected that if Trump won, that we would see a massive dip in the spot price of silver and gold. And in some ways, it was kind of baked in. They say that there's an expectation, and maybe it's not going to dip too much further than where it's gone already. But I saw it. I think it was maybe about 1:00 a.m. or 2:00 a.m. when as soon as they announced that he had taken Georgia, that's when it really took a big tanking right there. So it doesn't really make as much sense because you saw Bitcoin like skyrocketing.
Yeah, another all-time high, over 75,000. I don't know where it's at right this second, but that's I saw that it got up that high.
Gold and silver and Bitcoin, more so gold than silver, but Bitcoin, a safe haven asset, and still going up as Trump is getting into office as the winner. And they say that Trump is actually a very big supporter of crypto.
I was going to say, it sounded like he had some good things to say about it.
Yep, he's a huge supporter of crypto, but then again, he is also a supporter of gold and silver. So he's said good things about APMEX and A-Mark, and he said stuff about both metals before in his talks. And that's not to say, everyone knows that even with Kamala or Trump in office, nothing can save the inevitable, which is inflation.
Sure.
Metals are still going to keep on going regardless of who's in office. No one can change the printing of money, and no one can change where we are as debt to other countries. We owe trillions of dollars in debt, and because of that, there's always going to be assets that are safe haven and that continue to be more valuable than the paper dollar, and that's where now. Although the dollar is skyrocketing as well. That's the Dixie chart.
Yeah,
That's really taken off today. So is the Dow, and so we're seeing a resurgence in the dollar, because Trump is always tend to help get the economy back on track with the equity market. So that seems to be where maybe this is heading as well. We'll see a resurgence in equity numbers, and the stock market will probably prop up here. And gold and silver might take a little backseat for a few months, maybe. And then I think it's still going to go back because it's a worldwide market, and we're going to see gold and silver still continue to possibly cross 3,000 in the next 6 months to a year, I think.
That'd be wild.
It would be wild.
Regardless of what everybody says, it's all politically driven. I don't think it is. I think it's worldwide debt driven and world inflation driven. And
so you're calling this a little bit of almost like a mini sale, right? Like a buying opportunity.
It's a fear thing, okay, Trump is winning and Kamala didn't get in, and the stocks and the dollar, stronger equated to Trump, and because of the dollar going up, the metals just went down and took a sale. But you do see a lot of those guys they're selling off a lot of their stuff. I had a guy that asked, he had bought from me maybe 2 years ago some 1/10 ounce gold at $200 each, which is a steal now.
Yeah, no doubt.
And now he wants to sell them off, and he's still going to get about $260, $270, $280 on the gold eagles from me.
Sure.
He bought 100 of them, so he's still going to make out quite well. These people that bought gold anywhere in the past year or two are still going to make out very well if they sell today. Now, if you bought even further, 1,500 or 1,200 an ounce, I think was the low, or 1,100 an ounce in the past 15 years, you're going to do very well even selling today. So,
heck yeah.
It all depends on how long you want to hold it for.
Yeah. And I did see the Dow shot up like crazy today as well. Over 1,000, maybe 1,200 ish.
Yeah, 1,200 ish.
I almost wonder if people were pulling out their positions on the paper markets for gold to put them into something that's going to gain a little bit better in this little uptick.
Yeah.
And we might see it flood back. And that's what I'm saying. Like we might see gold pop back up in the next couple of days and kind of regain some of what it lost today.
Didn't really lose as much. I mean, given where it is,
Right.
2,700, it was at like 2,730 or something. It took $75 drop.
Mm-hmm.
Not even a few percent right there. It's not that much really if you think about it, being so high as it is. So dropping down 75 is not that big of a deal. I don't think 2 or 3% loss is not going to erase the metal off the planet. It's still very high in demand.
Sure.
It's just crazy that it's got as high as it is. I mean, we should be blessed to think, back in the 1500s, no one would have thought we would have been here today, or even post-COVID. I think silver was at $12 as a low, and now it's double that, more than double that. 28.
Yeah, more than double that.
Oh, sorry, 24 would be double that. So really,
it's still in the 30s right now today, even after $1 or $1.50 loss.
It almost hit 3 times its COVID low, with $12 an ounce. Hasn't hit 36 yet. I think it's hit 34, 35 range.
Yes.
So, given the fact that it's almost 3x'd and since COVID time, I think we should be very happy about that. The people that did buy, and I haven't even sold off any of my personal stuff yet. I'm still waiting. I think it's too early to dump everything. I was hoping for like 40s or 50s. So
is that your number?
I don't have a number. I mean, I don't think I'll ever sell everything, and I want to get rid of some of that stuff that's just crap that's just sitting there.
Yeah. Bro. I got a pile of it right next to me right here.
There's this certain junk that you've accumulated, but like you have no really big attachment to it, so it doesn't really matter when you sell it, but you just want to get rid of it when
the time's right.
Yeah. And we got that. We have a lot of sterling scrap type items from like Franklin Mint books and spoons and forks and knives and stuff like that I think we bought in the 15 an ounce range back when we had a jewelry store, and that kind of stuff. We've just been waiting on it. We usually acquired it for 90 to 95% of the market, and there's just not very much risk in it. So you can hold it for whenever.
Right. Yeah. And just dump it when you're ready.
Exactly.
That's good
Eat your
stuff,
steak
man.
with it.
But
So
interesting where we're at today. I mean, with Trump winning and the metals market where it is, I think it says a lot, and the community is definitely responding to it. If you look on Facebook and Instagram, the walls and the people's comments and everything, it's I think some people are very relieved that it's over, but then others are still talking shit and being the people that they are. You see that there's a lot of aggression still out there, and there's a lot of hate. And
sure there is, and those are the folks I just don't deal with, because it's
right.
nonsense is all it is.
You would think that like after the results are announced, that the hatred and everything would kind of move to sidelines, and there would be a little bit more peace and relief that this is over, but it still kind of continued afterwards, which is
more poking, more prodding, more
Yeah.
trying to get you going type stuff. Yeah. I've got something like that in the family too. And I take something they send me and I flip it around on them just to get their blood boiling, but that's family stuff. So
it was good to see my kids involved in it, to get, they're really the people that pushed me to get out there to even go vote. Like I've been so busy that I haven't really put much interest into politics, but the fact that they wanted to see the polls and they wanted to see myself go there with my wife and to actually put in her vote, I think that was something that was important for them to see, that, they're going to have to wait another 4 years to see that again.
Right.
Yeah. Right.
Yep.
And it's not something that happens every day. And it's still going to be like 20 years or so before they can even vote themselves. So just seeing the process and how we do have a democratic country is such a cool thing, that we are lucky. Whoever's in office, doesn't really matter. It's the fact that we have that voting process and choice that we can make is such a good thing for them to see. I think
it almost seemed like an election that happened back in the 90s. Like the person won, they made their speech, and we went about our business. I don't think we saw burning buildings or people just so angry that they thought it was rigged, or they thought this just can't be real and all that other stuff. It just seemed like a normal election. The election day, the process.
Oh yeah.
It all unfolding. It wasn't like watching when they had predicted Hillary to win, and you just saw the life sucked out of every news anchor available, because they're starting to see that this isn't going the way it's supposed to go.
I think most people with a pretty intelligent perspective knew the result of this election before it happened. I think there wasn't a surprise element to it. I mean, I don't want to get into the politics.
Sure.
But I do think that, like, if they had chosen a candidate and gone with that candidate all the way through, the Democratic Party would have a little bit more of a chance. But they did such a last minute game there you can't put a person in like 3 to 6 months before an election is over and expect any results. I mean,
and just pump out a bunch of interviews and whatever else.
You can't psychologically take someone and change them that quickly, like to follow somebody else. And that's why I never understood why they choose a vice president so late in the game for both parties. I feel like you should have a vice president chosen like a year or two in advance as well.
Heck yeah. Yeah.
But, and again, you got to get to that point, like, okay, so the Republicans had to go through everybody. They went through their process, and they had to find their right person for the job. And it's not really, I mean, it is a job, but it shouldn't be, he's not our boss of any sort. He's supposed to protect us and the Constitution and all that great stuff, and fight everything for us. Like, we're not supposed to be doing that for them. But in about 3 years, we get to go through the whole process again, and it's not just one side. We're going to have two new candidates going head to head at it, and that's going to be something to see again.
I'm happy that it's going to be a fresh start the next election. It's not, I mean, cross your fingers, it's going to be a pretty fresh start, and we're not going to see a lot of the same faces, and it could be a completely new beginning and a reset for politics. And I think it's better when it's new people and everybody's fresh. I feel like it's going to be a better election because you can't predict as much. It's going to be more who you actually have feelings for their policies and their beliefs, and you're actually voting for the person rather than just the past. I think we're going back and we're kind of voting with our connection to the past on these people, and that's always a dangerous thing because you're just looking back at what have they done in the past, good or bad, versus let's look to the future. Let's look at
Exactly.
what everybody has to bring to the table in the future. It's going to be a different process, I feel like, for sure.
I got one thing I want to pull up on cam real quick. So going back to this chart, and I expanded it now to let's see, this would have started right around in 78. So let's maybe fast forward to, I don't know, what is that? Around 2004, 2005 or 6. All right, so this is the chart for gold, and what we're looking at here, what I want to highlight is under the different administrations, what the ranges of gold spot price went start to finish. So in the Obama administration, on day one, gold was at about 850 an ounce. By the end of the administration, and in his case, it was an 8-year administration, you have 1,172. So that's an increase of $318. Now, mind you, inflation rate during the Obama era was about 1.4% year over year average. So you're looking at about 11% inflation by the time his administration ended. Then you got the Trump administration. So starting off, he picked up gold at a spot price of $11.72, and 4 years later it went up to $18.50. So that's a net gain of about $680-ish per ounce. His inflation rates. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
It's a pretty big gain right there. I didn't know. That quite
yeah. It was a pretty big one. So 678 was under the Trump administration. His inflation rate was a little higher than Obama's, year over year, 1.9%, leading to a total of about just shy of 6% interest over his term. Then you got Biden. Biden started at 1850 an ounce and ended. We're calling it for, I guess, when the election was called yesterday. So started at 1850, ended at 2736. So we're looking at a net gain of $886. Then let's talk about that inflation rate, because that's definitely something worth mentioning. His year over year average, 5.2%. So significantly bigger than both Obama and Trump. And so far, we're looking at roughly about 15.5% total interest rate increase since Biden got into office.
Right.
So yeah, that's kind of big. It's kind of big.
Yes. I mean, the fact that the Trump numbers were that big, I'm just going back to that, the $600 increase in spot price for Trump under office, given the inflation rate, was obviously nowhere near where it is now. Right. But that's still pretty remarkable. And like we were saying before, that we're predicting that Trump is going to make the spot price go down. That's not necessarily true. I feel like we're still going to see a pretty significant gain in spot price with Trump in office, and I would continue to dollar cost average or
thank you,
back no matter what, because you never know when whoever's in office doesn't have control over the end printing of money and finances. Trump doesn't control the Fed. Trump doesn't control all these economic deals that other countries are developing that is also increasing the spot price for gold and silver worldwide. Although he does control a lot of the tariffs and that kind of thing, which I think we'll get into a little bit later in this discussion. The tariff situation is creating a lot of fear for products and mints around the world that we're
sure.
So that's something that we have to think about, I think, in the long run as well, is these tariffs and how much we're paying for metals overseas. Like the Chinese panda, for example, we pay a 7% tariff on the Chinese panda, and the spot price, is at what, 30 or something dollars an ounce. But once you add the tariff and the premiums and everything, that's almost like a $7 to $10 gain above the spot price just because of that stupid tariff. So it's it's unfortunate to think about, but we have to think about euro conversion because we get a lot of products in different currencies. We have to think about the tariff after the fact, and then of course the spot price itself also adds to the premium of what we pay for metals as an end user for all of us in the end. But yeah, I think Trump is still going to keep the spot price is going to keep on going up under Trump. Bottom line, that's you don't have anything to worry about there.
Can it keep going up and inflation come down?
Yep.
So if gold is an inverse function of the U.S. dollar, right? You said the DYX or DXY, I think, the dollar index. If it's inverse of that, do you see us in any foreseeable future seeing gold go back to 1900?
Anything's possible, you know. I mean, but I think we've hit a psychological bottom at like 2,000, 2,500 an ounce now with this current year. 2,000 to 2,500 is like the bottom. It's a huge range there, but I don't think we're going to get to the 1,800 range or below 2,000. And then silver, I don't foresee it going below 20 to 25 an ounce. I think another psychological bottom there that's been filled after COVID. Silver tanked to 12 from 20, and it recovered back to 20 and 25 for like 3 to 4 years there. And then finally in the past couple of years, it's been rising from 25 to, it's actually just in the past year, it's risen from 24 all the way to 5. So
yeah,
I think we're on an upwards trajectory right now, and just the beginning of a bull market. We're not anywhere near the end.
That's awesome.
That's my gut feeling, but we'll see.
I like it.
I trust the gut.
You know, that's what I'm thinking. So that's why I haven't sold off everything, or otherwise I would.
So before we got on, you had mentioned that you noticed a trend, a kind of strange trend that I hadn't. I guess I never thought of it because I don't put much thought into maples. But what were you talking about, maples?
So what I was talking about is all these Trump rounds and bars and colorized pieces and everything that's coming out from all these people that are pushing the MAGA Trump silver and gold collectibles market. I think that's what I should call it. It's the Trump silver and gold collectibles market. And it comes in copper too. You know, there's every metal you can and every coin, base metal. You've got Trump on every single possible piece of metal that's out there probably. And right now that market is still soaring because, you know, obviously he just won, and there's going to be new pieces that already came out today, showing that he's the victor and he's the winner. I'm sure Email can show a few pictures of the ones that have been coming out.
Sure.
Today.
I think he
has something. So I think this one was today's, right?
Yep, that one was done by Lockerman, Dave Jones. He made that.
Yeah.
He's got some nice packaging with this stuff. It's pretty cool. It's got a Trump, and he's saying Trump wins, and he's got his arms in the air like a boxer.
Okay, so that's the actual bar then that we see in the center of that, right?
Yes.
And then that must be the packaging or a COA that.
Yeah, his new bars. Lockerman has done some pretty cool stuff where they do packaging like that. Everything on like a blister pack, and they cellophane or enclose the bar in the packaging, so it's nice and sealed. And you can take it out. You can cut it out if you want to, but it's nice to just leave it there.
Yeah, just the way it is.
Yeah, so that's pretty cool. That's one of them that came out today. There's a copper one right here. This was done by a Canadian mint. I'm your president. America will be great again. And you know, these guys have obviously made this stuff a few days or about a week or two in advance, knowing that their gut feeling is that Trump is going to win. So they're going to put out some Trump winner items.
Yeah, right.
So this one right here, this is not a sticker. This is actually like,
it looks like it's high relief.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That looks quality.
With Dave Jones from Lockerman, that was a UV printed flat bar piece that just has UV printing. It won't have any relief to it. This is
the bar, yeah.
Round that.
So that one you were talking about.
That one, yep.
Okay.
This is going to be a relief over copper, like an actual coin, or it's a metal. You know, it's a copper metal, and yeah, it's a nice looking piece. And we sold some today, and then I haven't put this one up yet. I'm going to probably post it later tonight on Facebook, but this one has been circling around social media, cleaning up 4 years of crap. It's got Elon Musk on the left, Trump on the right, and Trump in a garbage truck with the American flag on top. You know, you're seeing that, and you're seeing like McDonald's, people serving McDonald's. Trump picking up his McDonald's in line at the drive-thru from Kamala Harris.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
There's stuff like that, and then here's a National Rifle Association, one on the top with Trump holding a rifle. Of course, he's a big NRA supporter right there, with the Republican Party, the far right. And then, of course, at the bottom, you've got this is a Trump deep state coin, and these are over American Silver Eagles, so these are actual coins. But going back to the maple thing that I was talking about, the performance on this Trump stuff in the past year or two, or let's just say the past 4 to 5 years since Trump left office and Biden took over, it's been just a push to put every single type of piece politically MAGA motivated that they can put out to try and push the Trump followers to buy this type of metals, and the sales performance has been very, 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 very strong. And it goes in waves. Sometimes you don't see as much buying on it, and there's a saturation in the markets. But there was 3 points I can tell you where there was insane sales on the Trump merchandise, gold and silver. The first was when they announced that he was going to jail, or that he had the mugshot.
Yep, the mugshot.
The mugshot pictures, and those ones were wanted for a second term. I think that's what they use, the phrase "wanted for a second term" when he got the mugshot done. And that picture, I mean, the number of rounds that we sold on that first one was insane. I want to say about 2,000 to 3,000 ounces.
Wow.
And those are mostly from dealers with the big purchases, but also a lot of guys, even publicly, were buying like monster boxes, 500-ounce crates of those wanted for a second term, 1 ounce generic Trump rounds. And you weren't even seeing at that time people buying Silver Eagles in the monster boxes. They were buying tubes or singles.
Yeah, right.
So when we start to see trends like that, we realize that it's not always the government issued products that perform the best, like maples and Silver Eagles. This past year, we sold 2025 maples, actually in the past month, and we sold maybe 90 of those, right? Which is, not a terrible amount. It's like 3 rolls of silver maples, 70, 90 ounces. Now, a Trump round, or sorry, the Trump train round, we sold the square. It was like a little square piece Trump on a train, on the top of a train. It was a privately minted round with a relief. I call it a round, but it's really a square.
Yeah.
Trump square. That particular piece, we sold close to 600 pieces in comparison to the maple leaf, which is a government issue piece that people have been buying for 25 to 30 years. And that's like a strictly like trusted investment piece that almost everybody that is in metals has touched a maple leaf.
Sure.
And most people buy like a few tubes a year, but we've seen a slump in sales for those government issued standard products like Silver Eagles, Maple Leafs, Philharmonics, Britannias. Now Libertads are a little bit different beast. I think the Libertad sales are always pretty strong. We see about 500 to 1,000 ounces every time we offer the Libertads. But this year, with the spot price up to 35 an ounce, even Libertad sales were a little weaker than they were in previous years. I looked at the numbers on Libertads, and we had sold about 5,000 Libertads last year in 2023. Ounces total, I should say, 5,000 ounces of 1 ounce, 2 ounce, 5 ounce, all different sizes of Libertads. This year, I think we only sold like 300 or 400 total, which were way lower.
That's way different.
A lot.
Way lower. And, I contribute it to the spot price, but then it could also be these private pieces like the Trump pieces that money is just going into stuff that people actually like, personally. That it's not just Trump. It could just be a privately minted piece that people connect with on a higher level than connecting with a sovereign nation's coin, which is not really always pretty. Like some of these government issue pieces are.
It's just the same thing.
Yeah, it's
just the same thing. Same maple,
That's
same eagle.
In the end, it's just, the mind gets bored of seeing the same shit over and over and over again. And so when they see something different or a unique piece that, especially on the political level, that connects with their beliefs, they're okay, I need to buy that because I believe in that. And that's what the ground sales, I think that's what they speak to, is that these people really believe in the message that he was trying to convey, and they want to hold a piece of that of their own for historical purposes, but also to pass on to their kids to say,
Yeah.
this is something that we believe in as a family too. And so it's astounding, the fact that those pieces are selling better than government issued pieces. I would have never thought that would have happened 10 years ago or 15 years ago when I got into this business.
Right.
So
Well, it speaks to the, I guess, the following, the base of
right.
of Trump's support. So it's that group, the three G's, right? God, guns, and gold.
Yes.
So if you're marketing anything in those arenas, especially like, I mean, you've seen guns that are like Cerakoted with Trump stuff, MAGA stuff, all
Oh yeah.
left and right. So it's the same concept as here. People are
Right.
more inclined to buy that because they're in full support of Second Amendment, or in this case, they're in full support of, having control of their own finances and things like that.
Yeah.
So,
Yep.
so it makes sense. It makes sense that it's a good angle. And Paula, you had an image too of a MAGA piece.
Yeah,
That's
right here.
incredible.
This is my favorite one of the year.
It's something else for sure. I was showing Emil before we got on here that it's everything somebody could ask for. And I was actually pointing out to him, I'm going to find a little pointer here.
Oh, the texture.
Something. Yeah, the texture on it, if I could find one. Yeah, I got a pen right here. So right in here, right, they're made to look like patches, and they do give that effect. And then it is a bar, so it's not a coin. This is from Spectres, and typically their stuff comes as coins, but not this particular piece.
Like a metal.
Yeah. So it's 2 ounces, and it's numbered to 4547, and just so happens that he did win. So he is now the 47th, or will be the 47th president. So that's why that number is what it is. But it's a pretty cool piece. And as far as we were talking about, everything that has come out since his mug shot, since he's been shot at, even, I mean, he was shot, anything, this is by far one of the nicest pieces I've seen.
Beautiful. They put a lot of hard work into this piece, and I know that
it just wasn't thrown together. It's not a UV printed piece, you know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying that stuff's just thrown together, but what I'm saying is this took some time, this took some thinking. I'm sure that when you make something like this, like the first one you punch out isn't the best piece, and just things have to be tweaked
from a sales performance perspective, because like these 2 ounce, 3 ounce, 5 ounce collectible pieces that are in like the 200 to 300 range, for example, are very hard to sell. Like these pieces are not easy to sell. We usually sell about 5 to 10 units of each.
You're talking $100 an ounce here, you know?
So not everyone can afford these pieces.
No.
They're hard to sell. But this particular piece, we sold like close to 100 bulletproof vests in the 2 ounce. Like impossible to sell that.
So look at that detail on the bottom right of the image. You can see the Phillips head screws.
Yes.
On whatever that is. I don't even know what that is.
But yeah, that is pretty remarkable. Very, very detailed piece. And realistic. Very realistic. It's
very much so. I mean, I even noticed just this carabiner hanging there. Look how real that carabiner just looks hanging there.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So that's that patch kind of feel and look that it has to it that I was talking about now that I came in on.
I mean, I've seen the videos and the pictures, but because Spectres ships all their stuff in sealed boxes, and I that way to my customers sealed. I've never actually opened this piece to see it in hand, but it's pretty freaking awesome. I like it a lot.
Paul, can you give a shameless plug to your camera? Because damn, that magnification is insane.
It's actually a really nice camera, and truth be told, I was gifted that camera by the company. It's called the Elkaliv, ELIKLIV. You can find them on Amazon. It is a 4K microscope, and I can come in.
I go into these coin meetings with like CIT Mint and stuff, and they do these zoom ins on all their coins. And I have to say that this is probably better than the quality that they have on theirs too.
Oh, for sure.
They have
Look at that. Jesus Christ.
I can go lower if need be, but there you go. There's your patch material right there.
That's a very good zoom, and it doesn't get blurry or anything either.
No, and if it does, it's got an autofocus and it's right there.
So you said it's
right back on the money.
L Clive. Does that sound right?
Yeah, L Clive. Yeah, I think the I's not in there. So it's their 4K digital microscope is what they're calling it. I call it a coin scope. But
what I do like about this piece is it has a good. It doesn't have too much color. They just put color on the flag.
Yes, and that little bloody. I'll bring it back around. The Punisher Trump head, if I can find that right here. The bloody ear.
They overdo the color, but this is perfect. They just put a little bit of color in it to give it like a little touch of color.
And then that little bit there for the numbering, which is, basically numbered in blood.
Yep. So it's a nice balance of like the antique look on a coin.
I'll show you your Philip. There's your screws right there.
Wow.
Yeah.
An incredible job. The other piece that they did really well was that Holy Lance piece.
Oh yeah.
A nice one.
That's actually on my shelf out in my basement living room. It's a it's a piece I keep out and show off.
I got that sucker right here. Busted out. I don't have that fancy camera. They haven't sent me one, but I'm jealous. Paulie shows me all the cool stuff that he gets. I did get this though. Spectres did send me that.
That's one of their things too. That's still in the plastic that I haven't taken out. And
I've seen the whole video because I had to grade it.
Which is it? What is it?
The Holy Lance. I did see that in person. I did.
Yeah.
I had to send a few for grading to NGC.
Have you gotten them back?
I haven't got them back yet, but
I want to see the size of that slab. Send us a picture when you get one.
A long ass coin. So I don't know what
it is.
We'll see, I guess. It's going to be back probably next month. So
and it's just so tough for me to, not that it's tough, it's just a time thing. All of the stuff that I've been sent, especially like that Holy Lance.
Yes.
I want to get in on it and show the detail off more than I can with just my Canon camera or my iPhone. All great cameras, but nothing. I mean, this thing it's like I've said before, it's a game changer for what I do on my channel. It is. It really is.
It's going to help your channel a lot because people like to see everything. Even with the naked eye, you can't see some of that shit. It helps in that element too, is that if you can't even see it with a little loop or your naked eye.
What I like about it is if it was me and I was looking for that particular piece and I thought about buying it and you see the pictures online and you just don't know. So what do? I go to YouTube and I type in that information and there pops up a video and hopefully somebody's got it in their hand and they can check it out. And to me, that's what helps, I think.
Definitely.
Very cool. What else you got going on, Sean? What's next for you?
What's next for me? I am right now in the process of shipping a lot of stuff out. As usual, we're always packing up boxes, we're always shipping. There's just a lot of releases that have been coming out lately from the mints. Usually the summer is like a slowdown where we see like not many releases come out, but I feel like this summer has been the complete opposite. We've just seen one release after another. In a typical week, we usually put out, I want to say maybe 5 to 10 releases a day. But recently, some of those days have been like 10 to 15 releases. It's just been insane.
Yeah, I noticed some days it does get a little nuts.
A lot more products out, and I'm not going to say that necessarily all of them are very high quality products. Some of them are low, mid, some are crap. I put out everything. I let the market decide what's going to be a good piece. Even if the quality, if I feel it's not to par, I still think it's fair to give it a chance and to give every mint a chance to show their worth. And some mints get better with time. These private mints, they have to start somewhere, and a lot of the times they start off just experimenting with stuff, and then in a year or two they've become like the new market maker in a particular market. For example, TNS coins, they just put out some of their first coins about a year ago, and now they're killing it with some of those designs that are coming out. We are going to be meeting a lot of these people. You asked what's next for me. I've made my hotel bookings and plans for the Berlin show. I'm only going to go overseas. I've been dying to go to this show for years now. I just got my hotel booking, and it's at the Astral, which is right next to the convention center for the Berlin show. There's not many hotels you can stay at that are like right next to it, and I got an early booking to that hotel, and I'm really excited to meet some of these mints in person. That some of them I've met before, but the majority of these people I've just done video conferencing like this.
Yeah, right.
It'll just be awesome to meet like the Czech Mint, the Germania Mint I met in Pittsburgh, but it'll be good to see them again. Mint of Poland, Mint of Gdansk, Spectres. I don't know if the Spectres guy is going to be there, but if he is, I really look forward to meeting him. And then, of course, the American mints always make it out there too, like Scottsdale and some of those other.
Yeah, and well, he's got an open invitation to come up here. He keeps saying that he just doesn't think he's that interesting enough. I said, whatever, dude. Spectres.
Oh.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, I said, dude,
he's got some of the best stuff.
Yeah, I know.
I know that's like he does. Like it's not his main job. I know he does other stuff as well.
Sure.
This on the side. It's just like a crazy side business to run a mint on the side. Can you even doing that? I can't even imagine that as a first job.
And government backed coins is that can't be something easily done. And just to do it on the side, not your I'm sure it's 100% focus, but
I wrote him an email like the other day and I told him that like we're a very big supporter of your brand, and I know he does a lot of work with bullion exchanges and they do a lot of products together, like the Revolver series and that Weapon series. And I've pushed all of them. I think his stuff is just incredible. He's definitely on another level when it comes to connecting with the American market.
Yes.
A lot of these mints don't know how to market to us because they just don't know what works. They put out too many Greek, Roman, whatever coins that are just too historical and too European historical or too Asian historical, and they don't resonate quite as much with our markets as these coins do that the Spectres guy puts out. He's done a lot of weapons. He's done gangsters. And then of course, like the taxi cab and stuff is just Americana. All those.
I thought that jukebox was amazing.
Oh, the jukebox is freaking beautiful.
It's just one of those. And I sent him a picture. I have that similar jukebox right behind me in my basement. But new aged. It's not an older jukebox. It's a new updated jukebox. You can Bluetooth to it and all this stuff. You can still play records on it, push the buttons, to preset songs and stuff like that. But it is cool.
That was a great idea, just to bring back some nostalgia. Like not many people have. I know my kids have never seen a jukebox in their entire life, right?
I grew up on my parents owned a bar, and
they've never.
If you did it just right, you could slide a dime through there, and it would read it as a quarter.
That's so cool. So cool. Yeah, there's certain things that our kids are just never going to be able to experience, like Walkmans and
cigarette machine.
Cigarette machine. Well, we don't want them to experiment with any of that.
Right. No, but I mean, I remember growing up in that bar, and the coat room had the cigarette machine in it. Yeah. You put the quarters in it, and you pull the thing, and out drop the cigarettes.
Oh, Paul, I will say, last time I visited Virginia in the mall, I did see a weed dispenser.
Okay, well, yeah,
basically the same thing, but it's
you'll have that.
Weed.
Yeah, we're gonna see a whole lot of that, I'm sure, eventually.
Yeah.
Florida didn't pass it.
It didn't pass it, no, but I think it's going to happen eventually. Whether we want it or not to, it's going to be here. So
right on. Cool, man. Well, Sean, this was awesome. Thank you for taking time to be on the show with us.
I enjoyed it. As always, I look forward to meeting with you guys, talking it up.
Oh, we love having you, man. We'll
share
out your
even if we didn't get a taco. Below.
That's right. We didn't get any Torchies, but
oh yeah.
Hey, that's all right, man.
It was good.
Go ahead.
That I enjoyed my Torchies before this.
That stuff's good, Paul. You got to try it. It's good stuff.
I've never have. We got a little place around here called Lugo's, and they make a burrito wrapped in bacon. It's nuts. It's so good.
That sounds amazing.
It is. It is. It's
so
this big around.
To the viewers and listeners, you'll find Sean's contact info downstairs. Downstairs in the comments section. Not the comment section. Jesus, where's
in the description section is where you're going to find Sean's information.
Excellent.
Thank you, Paul.
Feel free
to for you.
Especially if you're a dealer. We have a private Facebook page where we have some of our best customers on there. Email and Poly are both on there, but we also do a dealer to dealer email marketing channel that's just by email. And you have to be a dealer with an LLC or some references in the industry. You have to have at least some wholesale accounts at like AppMax or Upstate Coins or some of these bigger wholesalers. But if you have any real business inside the metals market and you're looking for some collectibles, feel free to reach out to me and I will get you on that email list. And we send new products out in real wholesale pricing direct from these mints every single day. Absolute best pricing you can find anywhere. I promise you that. So
There you go, folks. Hit them up.
Awesome.
thanks again, guys. Appreciate it.
Guys, until next time, eh?
Bye-bye.
Thanks.